up, Brandi?
What's the word? What's going on?
All is well on my end. First and foremost, how you doing? I know it's COVID-19. A lot of things has changed. Just tell us how you've been navigating, how you've been holding up. What's
I've
going
been good. I've been good. I've been, of course, social distancing.
for sure?
Taking in all those protocols. When things first kind of kicked off, I stopped for a while. Just because I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like this deadly virus. So for me, it gave me a chance to kind of step back and get back into that learning phase of film and cinematography. But now that things like we've kind of known more, and it's like, just learning how to adjust and understand that this is just how life is right now. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And being able to adjust from a business standpoint and, making sure that not only myself, but my team is safe too. I find myself going, making that extra investment into cleaning products,
Mhm.
extra mask on set, everything. So it's kind of opened my eyes, and but at the same time, I'm just trying to make sure things are safe, and maintain creativity.
Dope. And you said one very important thing there about adjusting, because I think in life we always have to adjust. So I like greatly appreciate you hitting on that and just understanding that in that capacity of just, all right, let me take a step back and let me just really understand how to move forward in that capacity. And I think that's really important because a lot of people ask, are we going back to normal? But I think with even business in itself, as you touched on, it's all about adjusting and it's all about being a person who's able to navigate in that capacity. If you just want to share who you, for the people who don't know, essentially who you are, what you do, and yeah.
Yeah, my name is Brandi. I am a cinematographer, director, producer. I own a production company called Lakeshore High, LSHY. You might have seen this logo. But I also go by Lakeshore, Lakeshorey. But yeah, we do a lot of music videos is how I kind of started this. But with everything transitioning, I've been doing a lot of branded content for different brands. I've done a lot of commercial work and interviews, and transitioning now into film production.
Yeah. So if you want to talk about that transition from, let me back up. So as far as like your overall goal or just vision, like with the videos and transitioning into film, do you think the music videos have helped you in that capacity?
Absolutely. Number one, I didn't go to film school.
Mm,
So everything that I learned was self-taught.
mm,
Music videos allow me to learn. They still to this day, when I go to take on projects, I look for higher productions, but at the same time, I take on certain jobs that are going to help me learn, and I can learn something new. I'm going to always be a student, no matter how far I get into this career. But music videos is a great way to learn, and get the hands-on experience. For me personally, I'm a visual person. I'm a hands-on person. I'm not a person that can sit there and learn from a book. I take everything I learn and I practice it. So music videos is a great way to start and learn, the basics, to learn your camera, learn, the basics of photography, cinematography, whatever direction it is you're going. But it's a great way to establish yourself, kind of get your feet wet in the game and figure out what it is you want to do when it comes to film. Film is a very, very, it's, of course, when you're starting out, it's just you and your camera.
mm-hmm.
But the more you progress in this, or the more you learn, you realize that on a traditional set, there could be like 20 people. There can be three people just on one camera. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? So you're learning, how to, that's how you transition. But music videos essentially give you an opportunity to learn all aspects of film and just practice new things and try different things.
yeah. So when did you know, like, okay, I'm gonna pick up a camera and I'm gonna just dive completely in and learn this thing? Like, when was that starting factor for you, being that you wasn't essentially a student of the game?
Um, it happened kind of, it happened while I was working, downtown. I was working with the Tribune, and one thing you realize is how important content is.
Mm.
And at the same time, I was really hanging out with one of my good friends who was a producer, and seeing that and seeing them shoot, like I used to see, like I remember Dex used to shoot there. Like he would record in one room and go out into the kitchen. And some of his older videos, you can see your kitchen is in there. But Laka would pull up, and I thought that was amazing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like it was amazing to actually see that, and and being at the Tribune kind of let me know the value of how important content was for businesses, how the demand for it was so high. So I'm like, I don't know. Like I'm a visual person. Like what if I, made things like I've written things like if you look at a couple interviews I've done, like I talk about how I started out being a writer, and
Mm.
I just really, it wasn't something I wanted to do. It was just something I would do when I got bored. Like I would storyboard, I would write stories. Like, so for me, it just kind of all clicked. And I used to play around with cameras all the time when I was young,
Yeah,
but I didn't really think about it until, I was just like, all right, I'm gonna buy a camera. And it happened right around that time. And that's where I just kind of like was like, all right, I'm gonna try it.
that's dope. That's so dope because most people are like honestly like scared, like, oh, I have to have these credentials or I have to be X, Y, and Z in order to do this. But I like the fact that you just said you just started. And I think that's key because most people should just honestly start and just learn through I don't want to even call them failures because everything in life is for a purpose, and I believe is there's no losses, only lessons with anything, to be completely honest. So if you had anything to give, like as far as advice for someone who wanted to start, what would that be?
Just get out there and go. You
Mm,
know, you're gonna learn by trial and error.
for sure.
And I I tell people this day, there's videos I still, when I say that I haven't made a video that I like, that doesn't mean that I don't like any of my work. What it means is that I hold myself like to a higher standard with any product that I make. And
Hmm.
I always feel like when I look back, there's one thing that I can do better. Right. I always look at all of my work and I always look at it, okay, this would have been doper if I added just had one light right here or I did this right here. Like, but what it does is that type of mind keeps me, improving. You know what I'm saying? So don't be afraid to fail. I failed a lot in this. And when I say fail, it's failure, it's not a bad thing. It's okay to fail. That's how you learn. You know what I'm saying? That's why let me turn this off. That's why I say I don't take L's. I learn lessons, is
Yeah,
because every L that you take, you learn how to move accordingly moving forward. And that's just what you have to understand when you're trying this out, is that you're gonna learn as you get out there and you start doing and trial and error. You know what I'm saying? And with music videos and now how today's demand is, a lot of pressure is put on us. But
yeah,
in reality, that's just because of where we're at with this. But as you move up in film and everything, it becomes easier because you learn how to build with different people. But it's always good to learn the different aspects,
for
so that
sure.
when you get there, it's like being a CEO. It's good to start out as a CEO if you were, if you were a cold caller and you worked yourself up, because now as a CEO and person that runs the business, you understand what everybody's going through. You know what I'm saying? So you're able to, get to that point. But ultimately, just don't be scared to fail. Get out there and just try it. Find an artist. Artists are everywhere. That's why you see so many people start out with music videos, because there's a lot of artists.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And most of the time, artists, the artist, like the local artists, aren't really, like, they're not ready for that bigger production yet. So you can honestly get out there and start working with them.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, that's how you get your feet wet in this.
Now, so what was that first music video for you? Do you remember or?
I do. My first music video was with an artist named Ray YK. Rest in peace. He passed away, but my first music video was with him. I remember I was asking him questions because he had done music videos. I remember I was like, man. But to think about it, like the first music video I ever shot was pretty decent for me not to know anything. My first camera was a Canon T2i.
Mhm.
Um, so I didn't know anything about it. I just thought you hit record and it was gonna look like, what I see. I didn't understand lighting, I didn't understand technique, but the video was pretty dope. Like it was pretty dope. And I remember there was like no slow motion and I didn't understand like 60 frames. I didn't understand any of that.
Mhm.
But it was still cinematic. You could see where my mind was going.
For sure.
And one thing about him is he kind of saw the vision in the future. Like, okay, I keep working with her. Like, imagine where she gonna be at. You know what I'm saying? And that was, that's when I say lock in with somebody that's really dope and that understands your vision and sees the potential of you and in the future, not just in the now. Like, oh, it sucked. Like, no, in my eyes, yeah, I was pretty trash. I ain't gonna lie. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I kept being like, how do I get it like this? Like, I was very persistent in
Hmm.
perfecting the craft, and I invested a lot of time into that. I stopped watching TV and started watching YouTube videos on how to learn. I
Yes.
couldn't tell you one thing. Like, I was so disconnected for a while just learning. I
Yeah.
replaced TV with that. So like for me, it was like, all right, I don't want to watch TV. The only thing I want to do is just learn.
Mm.
To the
So
point where I couldn't even tell you shows that were on TV or
yeah.
anything.
So it's
Just YouTube.
essentially just being a student of the game and being a student of the craft. And understand
Exactly.
and understand that. But you said something very important because it reminded me of myself when I first met you. Like, so I had that raggedy cell phone video, as you would say, of my vision. But honestly,
But
I,
you see the vision though, right? Yeah, no, that yeah. Was it cell phone?
huh?
Was that a cell phone video?
So it wasn't. I think the video is just a little choppy. You always call it a cell phone video. But it was just understanding the importance of the vision that I had and understanding that. And not only that, but I wanted to dig deeper within myself also and really bring something to life. For the people who don't know, Lake and I curated a documentary series by the name of The Art of. And when I first met Brandi, like I really like stalked her page for a while. Like honestly, no creepy type stuff, but just really
Right.
I love your work and I love what you were producing and the people that you were working with. So I think I had reached out to JMO and say, hey, who shoots your music videos? I got this idea and I want to just reach out to because I thought you were a guy because you never showed yourself. You never showed yourself. So I think the first time we met, I was like, yeah, bro. You're like, I'm a girl. Like and that really like intrigued me to another capacity because I'm like, whoa, like you see, like the film thing was a male dominant field, but I think now we had this conversation before. Just more females are really doing their thing in this capacity, and like I'm gonna say it, overshining the guys in the capacity, but that's here or there, but just really give a testament to the stuff that we worked on together, and just really how you felt about those things, and how you grow through that also.
Yeah, the art of that was like my first like type of interviews, and now that I look back at it, I'm like, oh dear God, like because I didn't understand. Like if I knew then what I know now, I would have been like, all right. But it helped me open my eyes on like really try to get interviews. Like I have directed many interviews now. You know what I'm saying? I've done interviews for companies. I
Yeah,
was part of commercial projects. So like it helps me get my feet wet, um, with just learning documentaries and learning how to film and put them together. Like I had never put together a 30-minute documentary.
mm,
Like, you know what I'm saying? And but being able to edit that and experience it um, is a beautiful thing.
for
You know,
sure.
I know now that I want to focus more on the cinematography aspect. Like now, if I was probably to do an interview, I would light it differently.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I encourage a lot of people to do. And if you've been on set with me, you understand that I invest a lot into lighting. Lighting is really big with my brand, whether it's colors, whether it's natural lighting. So I have to perfect it. I've invested into a lot of different lights.
mm,
So, you know, with that, just shooting that has helped me get there. Audio, you know what I'm saying? I've invested in some more audio options. I'm like, now I'm thinking, I'm like, I could have had a lavalier on them. But those are just things I didn't know. Again, when you don't go to film school, everything is trial and error. So
mm,
you have to get out there and you have to learn. These are things that they kind of tell you. And for you starting out with this is like, you know about audio, but you also like, you don't really know about it. Like you
yeah.
become overwhelmed when you got to focus about a lot of things. So like for me, I took a year just focusing on my camera. You know
Mm,
what I'm saying? Like, and when I was shooting Black Market, I focused really on the camera and the look and aesthetic and how I achieved the cinematic look. That was my focus, and I did it for a year or two. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Now my whole mindset is using light and being able to shape light and being able to use different lighting situations to complement. You know what I'm saying? So if we were to ever bring back up the art series, it'd be a lot different.
For
I think
sure.
it would be bigger. But I know when we finish it the second round, I'm gonna look back again and be like, all right, there's something I can improve.
Yeah.
So it helped me grow as a filmmaker by trial and error. I learned so many different things. I learned what it takes to make a documentary. You know, going out there, the first documentary, it took us months to do.
Yeah.
We filmed we filmed a whole year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we filmed, if that's one of the coolest parts about the first documentary is that it revolves Rod over the course of a year. Like we legit followed him. We showed up to different things. We even followed him to the Women's March. Like that was huge. No, the March for Our Lives.
Yep.
That was huge. Like, so that's what documentaries do though. Like you have to document these people's lives in order to tell the story that you're trying to tell. So that's what Black Market helped me do. And
Dope.
I think we filmed over the course of 2 years, we made those 3 episodes. Like it wasn't something that we were calling up and saying, hey, we're gonna slide on you this day, we're gonna do this. No. We were planning it out. And like I said, that first one took the longest because it was our first episode, but at the same time, we filmed Rod's career over the span of a year, which was
Yeah.
freaking dope.
It really was. It really was. And I think that, we learned a lot about each other. We worked, diligently and just understanding each other's mission, values, etc. But it's just like as far as Lakeshore High and where you're going next, if you really want to just talk towards that and just what you've been working on.
Yeah. So of course, right now is end of the year. So I'm working right now on closing out the year. I have a couple different projects. I'm getting into live shows, live productions,
So
music videos. There's a couple of them. Probably won't start again until top of the year.
okay.
But I'm excited about those because a lot of them were higher production pieces. One of them that is releasing top of the year in January. I actually shot it in November.
Hmm.
But I really liked the video because we had a full production. For the most part, we did rentals, we did all type of different things in it. We're doing some live shows, got some branded content still working. As you guys know, I work a lot with Divvy and Lyft, and the kids of Chicago and the youth and their e-bike program. So just helping them creatively continue to tell their story, and hopefully work with some other people, and other brands as well.
And that's one thing I always admired about you, Lake, to be completely honest, how you honestly take the different brands and different entities, but at the same time, you add your own swag and sauce to it, like to be honest, and you give them a sense of, I'm not gonna say like their brand wasn't alive prior to you, but the look and your cinematic view always tells a story, and I love that about your work. And it's always clean, like it's so clean. Like that's one thing that like I was big on. Is just like if I want this shot, it has to be clean. But I know that's one thing you're big on as well. Can you just like give a testament towards that and like why you like your content like clean and precise in that capacity?
Yeah, I don't think about quantity. I think about quality. I think quantity, you just put a bunch of stuff out. I think when you focus on your quality, you don't put as much out, but one video can be powerful. And I think that's something that's a testament to my brand is you don't see me shoot 20 videos a week like some people. And I'm not down in what they do. Like I respect your hustle. I just feel like when you're putting all your creativity into that part and you're really like trying to make it be perfect in the quality, you
Mm,
don't want to shoot 20 videos because of what it takes to produce one. And when you see, a lot of people, they do that because that's part of their hustle. You know what I'm saying? You got to hustle. But I feel like if you really put your quality, that's how you get your bread. Because
yes.
people will invest into something that has quality. They'll invest money into it. You don't get burnt out and you have a budget. When you're just shooting and you're not really focused on quality, number one, you're going to spend more time in the editing room.
Mm,
Number two is just like people look at it a different way, and perception is everything. I want people to come to me when they want bigger projects. I want people to come to me when they have full rollouts, that they're trying to go somewhere with this and they're willing to, invest a couple thousand. That's the type of people I want to go after.
for sure.
And a lot of people are starting to realize that with me is just like quality is everything. So that's why I don't shoot just for anything. And I'll turn down a project even if you have the money and you don't have your idea doesn't match up with it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you have to focus on is quality. You know what I'm saying? And today's cameras are getting better where you don't have to put all that in there. You know,
Yeah.
you can have a good look, but at the same time, I think when you start adding you can't, your camera is one piece of the pie. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
The rest of it is you and building the atmosphere and doing other things with it. And when you're doing that, you don't want to do that like 20 times a week. Like
Yeah.
that becomes very overwhelming. I just feel like you start to treat this as a job and you're like a robot. I want everything to be different than the last one. Like I want it to be as if I'm building a like a robot or something for
Hmm.
this person. Like I want this product to be different than the last. So for me, quality was always key. And like I told you before, I spent a year just learning about how to maintain quality with that camera. When I first bought that camera, trust me, I turned it on and what I shoot with now, it didn't look like that.
Yeah.
So I had to learn about that camera and the different settings and really learn it in and out. That's why I still have it. I still have I still rock with the GH5. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of people shooting with the GH5 and they always ask me, well, how do you get it to look like that? You got to learn it. You know what I'm saying? And then there's things you have to invest in for your camera, any camera you buy,
For sure.
just so you can make it look really good. You know what I'm saying? Just like with reds, I know so many people that'll go out and buy a red. Okay, what's the purpose of buying the red when you don't know how to make it look good?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing with the GH5 and what I currently shoot with is number one, not a lot of people were shooting with it at the time when I started, so it gave me a different look. A lot of people shot Sony. So that was already something that separated me because every camera has their own look. And then second off, I learned that camera front and back,
Mm.
from settings to profiles to understanding, that camera and that camera's ISO because every camera is different. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? So learning that camera in particular, and again, trial and error, but I invested into everything within that camera. Like there's different parts and modifications that I use for anything, but I invest in quality. I don't invest in quantity.
For sure. And I think that's very important, like I said before, because most people were just going to buy cameras and say, hey, I'm a cinematographer or I'm a videographer, but you actually learn and study, the craft and understanding, okay, I like this, but I don't like this. And I love the fact that you always push yourself to be better. And that's why I love being around you, to be completely transparent, because I know you're going to push me to be better also. It's times that I just sent you scripts and you're like, bro, you can do this better. Or, bro, this is dope. You know what I mean? So it's just like surrounding myself with individuals who have that same mentality and the capacity that I do also for my craft and my writing and just projects that I want to put out also. But definitely, if you could have, I would say, one word or a point of advice that you can share with anyone, what would it be and why?
Just what, like a word or just any just
So either
advice?
one word or advice that you would share.
I would say advice. And you're just saying about this
Yeah,
film
about
and
the
all.
craft as a whole, as far as filmmaking, cinematography, etc.
I think learning, I'll say advice. Learning all the parts to what it takes to make a film, right? I think I would learn that and figure out and try each position. You know what I'm saying? There's been time I'm not always a cinematographer.
For
I'm not
sure.
always behind the camera. I show up sometimes. I'm just a grip for somebody. So showing, learning the different parts of what it takes to make a film, and then going break it off and figure out what trying, all the parts, like trying them. Try being a grip, try being an assistant director, try doing all these things, and figure out what you are comfortable with. You know, I'm a person where I don't want to be a traditional director because I like touching the camera. So I like to be that cinematographer. I like to do a little bit of directing. I like to control like the lighting and the situation and the look. Like I'm really big on that. So again, it's like you're figuring out the different parts of you. But there will be instances I grow in this is I'm gonna hire a camera operator. You know what I'm saying? I might have a DP on a gig as I progress. But right now, I've been blessed enough to be behind the camera and still get the job done.
That's very
An
important.
amazing team to help do that as well.
Yeah, yeah. And do you want to shout out your team, or do you?
Yeah, yeah, of course, of course. I'm gonna shout out a couple people because like when I say my team, like these are dope cinematographers as
Yeah.
well, and directors, and also like I said, I'm gonna shout out Jared from First Earth Media. He's been there since like one of the first people I started working with. I'll shout out Justin, Raw Provisions. He's been there from the beginning. He's helped me out with a lot of stuff. And he was, you know what, Justin is a really great person to just really learn from. And he's very particular. And I think being around him helped me keep that same mindset of I'm gonna be picky, like so I that I can learn and be better. Shout out to Phil Jordan. He's another dope filmmaker who I've worked with and who I've learned from. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to everybody else that's out there doing it. Shout out to the woman behind the camera. Shout out to Royalty. You know, Taylor Johnson. We've worked with her on a couple different projects. She's amazing.
She,
So there's like, you know, I don't like, a lot of people tell you like you're the best female. Like I don't wear that as a badge. You know what I'm saying? People will tell it to you, but I always big up the other women in this, because it's not easy being a woman in this industry.
mm,
It's male dominated. So shout out to all of the women behind a camera that pick up that heavy payload and get to business. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Because I hear so many people I'm working with, they're like, man, it's different working with a girl. And I think what it is our mindset and how like we just be ready to go with it. We bring a different type of sauce to it.
for sure.
Um, but yeah, shout out to all the women behind the camera, man.
Yeah, and I really, like I'm appreciative to have your friendship, your partnership, and even mentorship because I learn a lot from you, Brandy. I really do, and just really understanding, my role and things that we've created together, and understanding, my role on when you are on my sets and vice versa. So, just shout out to you for real because like I see the growth in your work, I see the growth in, even you as an
Absolutely.
individual. You know what I mean? So it's just like understanding that and understanding, who you are, what you're becoming, and just really take my head off to you, like for real.
I
No,
want everybody to win. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? I'm not a selfish person.
yeah,
That's why I don't mind collaborating with other people. And I know it's hard in the climate that we're in, and especially in Chicago. But I think filmmakers like us are changing the narrative of Chicago. We're working with each other. I think that we're going to be the ones to start hopefully translate into over to the music side where they could start, opening up and be willing to work with each other. But I think the creatives of Chicago today are really setting a new standard and a new approach for Chicago. Like we're
mm,
working with each other, we're collaborating, like it's dope. It's really dope, and I hope that this does become the norm where everybody feels that nobody's above anybody and that there's money out there for everybody.
for
You know what
sure.
I'm saying? We don't have to step on each other's toes. We don't have to disrespect each other. Like we can legit work together
Yeah,
and be, you know what I'm saying, and still have our own separate things. And I think that also comes a lot with my spirituality and just being able to know that whatever it is that God has for me is for me and nobody can take that away from me.
that's
You know
dope.
what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And that's something that you really, it's easy to look at what somebody else is doing and being like, oh, I've been doing this for like 20 years. Like, why am I not growing? And it's just like, you have to understand, like, if it, like, what God can't nobody take that from you. So you
For
shouldn't
sure.
be jealous of anybody else and what they're doing in their journey. Like, don't look at that. Be happy for them. Congratulate them. You never know when they might reach back and pull you up.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what as creatives we're learning. Like there's money out there for everybody. There's a million different brands and companies out there. You know what I'm saying? There's a million different artists we can work with. Just work together and whatever's gonna get the job done.
that's dope. That's so dope. So you talked about all this dope content. Where can they find you? Where can they locate you? Where can they buy some of that merch, support you, and
I
things?
don't have the merch for sale, so these are just
Okay,
tests. I of course like I will have merch. Of course, it's not gonna just be my logo in the middle
for
of a
sure.
shirt. These are just production tees. Like anybody that's worked, they'll get a tee. You know what I'm saying? I got different ones. I got ones that say film crew with the logo on the back. So
Okay.
I got coats. I got things for the team. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
These are just shirts I wear out for the team. I will eventually have merch available, but I want to build up some different things. I think when I do release merch, it'll be around projects.
Okay.
And since I am getting into that bigger project, but yeah, you can find me at Lakeshore High. That's Lakeshore HY, all one word. On Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube, at Lakeshore High. Everything. If you are up and coming filmmaker and you need somebody to talk to, you need a mentor, anything, just reach out to me. I work with a lot of different kids. You know, Pep Rally Takeover has allowed me to work with a lot of kids. I've mentored some kids. I've answered questions. I've reached out to filmmakers who I've seen shooting a different way, and I'll just tell them. I say, hey, maybe you should try this. Try this tip. Just whatever you do, like try this when you do your slow motion. I guarantee you it'll work.
Yeah.
Like I'm a solid person because I want everybody to win. I believe everybody has an opportunity. Anybody picking up this camera has the opportunity to be great.
For
You know
sure.
what I'm saying? So with that being said, I want everybody to win. I want you to win. I want my team to win. I call them my team, but I want them to win in their own endeavors. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
I hope that as I grow, they grow too. You know what I'm saying? I don't want anybody to feel like they owe me anything. You know what I'm saying? Let's all work together and build with each other and then get to that spot. The money will come.
And that's what it's really about. That's what it's really about because, we live. The word win stand for worthy individuals never lose. And we always tell each other that because we worthy of everything that we deserve. You put in the work. So I just greatly appreciate you for sharing those gems with the community of passion and progress. And I'm looking forward to the projects that we have in store and everything else that you have for the future. Like to be honest, because I know we're going far. And like I was so excited to talk to you today. I ain't gonna need
Absolutely, man. Like, and I never give you your props. Like, so I've learned a lot about you. People that don't know, like, Trey is like the calmer voice per se. Like he's the one to be like, well, look at the whole picture. Or you know what? Like you're a little hot. I'll take care of this part. Maybe I can talk to him, maybe translate what you're saying. Like Trey's that medium. Like he's like the equal line. And you haven't you I've learned a lot from you just how to talk to people and just how to deal with certain situations, especially
for sure.
as creatives. We're getting lack of sleep. We're getting like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you're always checking in on my mental health. Like that's so huge is having those mental check-ins. Like you and I, we talk every Sunday. We check in with each other, so for us as creators, we get so involved with our work. Like sometimes we don't realize like our mental health could be at stake here.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to step away from it. And that's what I'm learning. And you and I talked about some stuff today. And I just told you, like I got to take, because I can't be stuck at this computer in 2021.
That's real.
Like I want my life back. I feel like I can get to that point, but understand that's part of crawling is sitting in there shooting and editing your own stuff and taking a break from your life to really build.
Yeah.
But that's the part of progressing. That's the beauty of progressing and meeting new people is that you meet people who love to edit.
Yeah.
That can help you and they see your vision. So, man, that's kudos to you. Everything that you're doing. This podcast is dope. I thank you for even wanting me on here.
Sure.
And we work together, so you know what it is.
Yeah. We're going far, sis. Well, I thank you so much for coming through and dropping some gems. I greatly appreciate you and just keep being great, keep thriving, as I always tell you. And everything that we want, everything that we desire is already ours. So we just gotta go get
Facts.
it. For sure.
Facts. Take care.
For sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care, guys.
Peace. Hey man, that was my sister, Lakeshore High, man. She's so dope, so talented. Make sure you go follow her at Lakeshore High on Instagram, on Twitter, and all those other social platforms, and her website, lakeshorehigh.com. We got some good things in the work, man. We really want to keep it under the low because everything's about to manifest. So you'll see what we've been working on. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Passion and Progress. I always continue to keep thriving. Love, you, your boy Trayvon. I'm out.